How's it going, everybody? These are the top 10 things you need to look for when buying firewood, with a bonus story at the end of the video. How's it going, guys? Tucker here with Tucker's Timbers, back with another informational firewood video. Today we're going to talk about why, or what rather, you should be looking for when you're trying to buy some firewood. So the first thing I want to talk about is kind of the biggest and the easiest thing to look for. Is when it's kind of too good to be true. You know what I mean? You find, oh, this guy has a listing maybe on Facebook or something like that. He's showing this big dump trailer. It dumped out all this really nice looking wood. Blah 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 blah. He only has it listed for $200 a cord and it's seasoned. I'm gonna order some right now. Um, no, that guy. The only person I know that's selling cut and split seasoned cords for $200 is maybe like Phil's Firewood, who's doing like 140 face cords a day or whatever he does. It's crazy. But nobody's going to do that. You know what you're going to get? You're going to get a face cord of wet wood that he's going to throw in a dump trailer and spread it out and maybe split it in bigger pieces so it takes up less space, or it takes up more space, but there's less wood. There's bigger spaces between the wood. They're gonna do that. That's what you're gonna get. So stay away from the too good to be true. Another thing, I found this to be very true. I'll tell you guys a little story with this one. Is any unprofessional listings or language or kind of stuff like that on either the listing or if you have a phone call or text message interaction with them, that's never going to get you anywhere in any business. You can never, if you're trying to sell something to somebody, your language cannot be foul. You cannot be talking bad or anything. Doesn't make any sense. And I had texted the owner of a logging company. I needed 20 cord of logs. We set it up, had the date good to go and everything. And I'm at work one day and I get this call. So I pick it up. I'm like, hey, this is Tucker. He's like, yeah. And I was supposed to get that load that night. So still planning on getting it, right? And then he calls. It was a delivery driver, right? And he's like, making sure we're all set for tonight. And I'm like, yep, we're good. And I'm like, one question though first. What kind of wood is it? You know, very basic question. And if you're a logger, delivery driver, you should know what you got on your truck and your pup. You know what I mean? So, and he gave me lip out of nowhere. So I said, hang on, I'm not gonna tell you. He'll tell you he doesn't have time for that blank, fill in the blank, right? And I said, well, you can give your owner, your boss, a call and tell him you just lost him $2,500 because you're not delivering to me tonight. Absolutely not. So I hung up the phone. And I called my normal logger. I said, hey, I just shut down your competition. You're all I got right now. I'm really going to rely on you. And he said, I got you. Don't worry about it. So here we are. Language, unprofessional, anything, bad. Always bad. Um, yeah, so this kind of, no, this doesn't go along with that. Just extremely high prices. Because you know what that is in the firewood business? Call that beer money, folks. Beer money. When you see a truckload of wood for $300, and you look on the Facebook listing or his profile, and you see that's the only listing of firewood he has, or the only time he's ever sold it. He's trying to go one and done. His mother had a tree fall down in her backyard. He cut it up and split it with an axe. He felt like a real man, and he wants to get $300 for that. You know, stay away from that. And you'll be able to tell they don't know what they're talking about. If you ask them any questions besides when can you deliver and how much I owe you, if you ask them what kind of wood it is, how long it's been split, they're gonna get scared and they're gonna either not reply or say, "Why do you care? Just buy it." You know. So stay away from that. Um, and what also comes along with that is bad quality, obviously. It's kind of a one-off guy, beer money type dude. Um, Another thing, I feel like this is kind of overlooked, to be honest. I think I'm up to 36 5-star reviews. I have a 4.9 rating because some guy gave me a 3-star, whatever. But bad reviews. People don't really tend to. I feel like look at those as much as they used to. I could be completely airballing. I could be so wrong on this, but I truly think that people don't look at reviews as much. And if they text you and you answer and you're kind of respectful, I think they're gonna go with you. You know what I mean? A lot of people aren't picky with this stuff, but if you're looking for firewood, you see this guy's got bad reviews, just don't buy from him because you're gonna end up being one of those people. He's either gonna short you, he's gonna give you the wrong wood, he's gonna give you bad wood, not seasoned, wet wood, all this stuff. Everything can go wrong. So, and you can be picky. You know, firewood is a vast, big market. Be picky with who you're buying from. In my opinion, it's always better to pay a little bit extra for a lot higher quality. So, and they could damage your yard and stuff like that too. If they have a dump trailer, damage your yard very, very, very easily when you dump it and pull it forward. It can. I've seen a dump trailer scrape grass right off the ground. So be careful. Bad reviews. Another thing is a lack of response. So if you have to kind of dig at some guy to get firewood, um, he's probably in the yard scrambling to split it right now. So a lack of response means he's unprepared or he just doesn't care enough. So move on. Like I just said, it's a big market. Find somebody else. Very simple there. Another lack here, lack of knowledge. If you see on his listing and you're like, oh, tell me, say on his listing, his first picture that he has, say that it's oak. You know it's oak. So you ask him, hey, what kind of species is that in your first picture there? And he says pine. You know, if a dude doesn't know what he's talking about, why are you gonna buy from him? Stay away from that. Do your research. You know what I mean? Um, it's honestly it's not I'll give it to you. It's not that easy to identify trees, but if you have a certain species that you're trying to buy, research that one, go out and find one, know what it looks like, and if they don't know, move on, find somebody else. Like I said, be picky here when you're trying to buy firewood for sure. People don't realize truly how many firewood sellers there are, and you're gonna want to find one that is consistent and the pictures match what he's telling you and all this stuff. Everything needs to line up because it's very easy to make everything line up with what I do. So talk to a guy that knows what he's talking about and it all makes sense and you can connect the dots. You don't want to have to guess and hope you're getting good wood. Another thing, this is a big one. I got let's see. I've had experience with this. Guy freaked out on me on the phone before. This is when I was still playing college football, and obviously I'm playing college ball. I don't have time to go and split multiple cords of firewood, cut and split it myself. At that point I was still using an axe. I was really still getting after it myself. So this one, trying to convince you to buy the wood fast or just right away. So they do this because um, they're trying to get you to buy the wood before you realize that it's bad, or they have bad reviews, or that they're lying about something, or they're trying to hide something. Um, I tell them, I ask. Usually, people are not in a rush to get firewood. Sometimes they are, but usually they're not in a rush, especially if it's for like campfire. I'm like, when do you need the wood? And they said, whenever it's convenient for you, no rush. So, but if it was coming from me and I said I needed to deliver this week or else whatever, that's a huge red flag. You are trying to buy the wood, because it's like, dude, you're supposed to be on my time right now. You're on my time. You are catering to me. I'm the customer, and you need to be like that. It's how it is in life. How's it going to be any different when you're buying firewood? You know what I'm saying? So, um, yep. So another, I kind of talked about it already, but if you know roughly what a cord of firewood looks like, and they show up with like my 4x8 trailer, and they say it's a full cord because they think you're just so stupid, um, tell them to go home. Say no. You're not dumping this here. You're not putting this here. Go home. I'll buy from somebody else. Have fun reading my review in a week. You know what I mean? So a lot of people try to short people because I will say a full cord of firewood with the equipment that I still have is still it's a good chunk of work. So if you got somebody who isn't used to working that hard or whatever, um, a bunch of reasons, and they try to short you because they think a you don't know how much a full cord of firewood is, and b they probably don't even have a full cord, or they can't afford to sell you a full cord, so they bring it and they just hope that they can get 3 times that wood's value because it's a third of the load that they promised. So small loads. Once again, do your research. It's all cubic footage. Do your research. One cord is 128 cubic feet of firewood stacked. Very careful with that. So when it's piled in, when it's thrown in, it's 180 cubic feet, roughly. Roughly. That's what I like to say. So you got to factor in the piled in and just the cubic feet in general. It's a big part. Another one kind of goes along with just being unprofessional and stuff like that. It's just like ridiculous fees. Or if they change the fee, if they have a delivery fee, stacking fee, whatever. I don't charge for stacking. I found out that people would much rather pay a delivery fee than stacking, so I say I'll stack for free. I'm gonna stack up to one face cord, and then after that I charge. But I'll stack a face. I do all my face cord deliveries. I stack them all for you for free. Um, and my delivery fee goes. I give you 5 miles for free, and then every mile after that I charge $2. So I don't think that's bad at all. Most delivery fees are between 10 and 20 bucks, if that. So yeah, there's that. If they're popping like, oh, stacking's going to be an extra 75, whatever, blah 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 blah, that's ridiculous. And if they charge you delivery and they're lying about like where they're based out of, if their Facebook listing says that they're in the city you're in, but they're saying, oh, you're 80 miles away from me, I have to charge you $100 for delivery. Get out of here, But that's another thing. And so here comes the story. Ready? This is the bonus for you guys. This is the 10th thing that I have for you guys. This is the bonus. Number 10, big bonus. It's crazy, unrealistic like quantities of firewood. So I I personally this is okay. This is a story. Ready? I have never heard of a dump trailer. Picture a dump trailer right now. Dump trailer. Boom, right here. See it? Got it? Dump trailer. I've never seen a dump trailer that can fit 8 full cords of split firewood in it. Um, but this guy claimed that he had one, and he claimed that he could bring me. This is when I was at Hope. I was buying split firewood. I was looking for big bulk split firewood deals. He said 8 full cords of split wood. Um, he wanted to sell it to me for like less than or right at $200 a cord, and I'm just starting out. I'm a foolish young guy trying to start out a business, right? I had this really good supplier that I've kind of been bouncing ideas off of back and forth. He helped me kind of start my business. I gave him a call. I was like, hey, Andrew, do you know if there's a dump trailer that can fit 8 full cords of firewood? And he just laughed. I'm like, what? And he's like, dude, that dude is ripping you off. I've never heard of that. Don't do it. So I was like, all right, cool. I gave the guy a call and I was like, after sitting down and doing what's 8 times 180 cubic feet? Something like, hmm, I don't know, just about 1,000, just a little bit over 1,000 cubic feet, for 8 full cords. I'm like, yeah, man, I don't know. I think there's no way you're fitting 8 full cords into a dump trailer, man. So I'm just gonna, you're okay. We're not gonna do any business. And he freaked out. Um, And I didn't tell him like, yes, I want this wood. I want it. I'm gonna take it. We'd been texting. And I was like, I need a minute to think, and it's a big deal for me. I'm a college kid, spending all that money. You know what I mean? So I'm like, let me, whatever. Um, so he was like, all right, all right, all right. And then I was like, wow, yeah, there's no way. So I gave him a call back, and I was like, no, no thanks. basically is what I said. And he freaked out. He's like, "You just made me do all this wood or whatever." Blah blah blah. And I'm like, "Dude, I said I'm interested in it, but I never told you that I needed this wood and I was going to take it and I wanted it. I said, let me think about it. That does not give you the right to claim that I said that I need this wood and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So that was a crazy story right there. But anyways, those are my top 10 things right there for you guys to look out for when you're trying to buy firewood. Be picky. Be picky. There's so many guys that do it. Be picky. Pay a little bit extra for higher quality or stacking or whatever. Know what you're buying. Know the quantities. Don't get ripped off. Unfortunately, what I do, there's a lot of people that are in it for just a quick buck. And that'll never stop because trees are going to keep growing and there's going to be people clearing land everywhere always. Yeah. Well, there's my 2 cents on buying firewood, guys. I hope that helps you guys. And if you're trying to buy firewood, I hope you took something from that and maybe now you can apply that. You know what I mean? Appreciate you guys for watching, sticking around, especially if you're still here at the end of the video. You guys are what makes my channel grow, is if you're still here at the end of the video. I appreciate you guys so much, more than you know. Got a lot going on here. We're really going to up production really soon. I got merch now. It's all embroidered stuff. It's really good. Um, I bought some of it myself. It's on the way. So really appreciate you guys. Um, yeah, be picky. All right, it's a big market. A lot of people. Be picky. Have a great night. I appreciate you guys. I'll catch you in the next long form video or short. Have a great night. Thanks for watching.